Okay, so big breakout in the market yesterday. It's interesting if you think about it. We had this consolidation for about a week here, right at around 260 plus or minus a little bit, and then as the Senate appeared to be more likely to get a tax bill passed, buyers really stepped in across the board, and just market took off. So there is, beyond the fact that the market popped on something which got different groups of people to start buying, is just the lack of sellers at this point. So it'll be interesting, and I'm not sure what the next thing down the pipeline would be in terms of the catalyst to get a lot of participants to buy at the same time, similar to the tax bill. But just the lack of sellers creates this an opportunity for a $1-2 move up in the SPYs on a catalyst like that. So yesterday's high 262.80ish. Watch, see what happens there. This little range from into the close. We start to come in, see if that holds. We're actually to fail at 262.50. There's about $1 downside to this pullback area from before we made the high. IWM. So same thing here in the morning, went up, didn't break through the this 151.5 area, came back down, and then when the news hit, explosion, $2 move there, up a little bit more this morning. So it's a $6 move here. 155, 156, IWM, be comparable in size to this move here, maybe even a little bit higher. So definitely not looking at any type of shorting in IWM right now. In terms of long, end of the day, 152.70-ish. Have an alert there at 153 to see how it behaves if it dips into this area here where it was topping out yesterday at the end of the day. All right, not a lot of great stuff on the fresh in play. ADSK, that reminds me a little bit of the Square SQ daily chart, which had that huge down move a couple of days ago. Although the one thing let's just throw the trend line. So it's trending up, and then it started to get a little bit steeper recently. So let's zoom in. So in 112 to 130, it's about a 15% move in 2 months. And it's gapping right now below, where is it? Below 116. So there's support here, 118. It's gapping below that. And the next one is 116. That's kind of where it is. And even the bigger support, if they really took it to the woodshed, is probably around 110. This area here. So the idea here in this is stocks made a big run. It's in a very strong long-term uptrend. The uptrend accelerates. Some news comes out that's not great. You can see what I put on there, inline guidance. Stocks up 50%, around 50% from the beginning of the year. Certainly a reason for some profit taking. So if we look at it initially, let's go to a 5-minute. It did go to 110 already. It did bounce, consolidate above 112, bounce almost to 118, which to me is a pretty safe short, anywhere above 117.5 into, I could see it getting as high as maybe 120. But this is the spot. It got to 118.20. So it's a little bit in no man's land right now, unless it makes a lower high here at 116. So I'd rather be playing this on the short side today, even if it does have the potential to pop $2, $2.50 right here on the open. And the idea being that it'll work its way back up to 110, down to 110 to 112.5, so that longer term trend line being broken, and some at least 1 day of profit taking, if not 2 or 3, before it kind of resets. Although I got to say, the inline guidance, inline numbers, some bigger hedge funds, than when their investment committees get together, they might do some selling tomorrow. So this could be good for the next 2 or 3 days. Let's go on to the next thing. WAIR. So this one normally only trades a few 100,000 shares, but I wanted to put it on here because the numbers were so freaking bad on the EPS side. But the revenues were okay, which means their cost structure is completely screwed up. They said they hired consultants to take a look at their operations. You can see this looks like the 4th quarter in a row that it's gapped down. Here. And now again today it's below. So it's the offer is actually at 6 right now. Now it's down 70% from the high. And as bad as the EPS is, the revenues are still okay. So some people want to do some bottom fishing. This would be the day to do it. We've seen stranger things happen where stocks get this beaten down with really, really bad EPS. But the revenues are still okay. If people think they have a chance at restructuring and getting things back on track, they could push it up very easily to 7, maybe even as high as 8. The idea being if they get things on track, maybe it'll be a $10, $12 stock again. So that's my thought process there. Just sitting on the daily, just want to see when it does a lot of volume. It did over 2 million one time. When it gapped down last quarter below $9, it did, looks like around 2.5 million shares. So easily could do 1.5, 2 million shares again. It's a low price stock, so we're not talking about a ton of risk there. It does look like it's trades in 5-cent increments, which can get things a little bit hairy. But if you're on the right side of 5-cent increments, if you lift their offers, you could be 25, 30 cents in the money. So worth keeping an eye on. See if the buyers step in at 6. See if it first move is up pretty quickly, just pops like this very quickly, then comes back down, makes a higher low, starts to crawl, stay long, and we'll see what happens at 7. We'd really need to see sellers stepping down and holding offers very strongly to be shorting stock this beaten down at this point. SORL. What was the date? They got a contract. The government of Shanghai. Here's the daily. So the interesting thing to me about this was it kind of based at 4, it went higher, then it based. They were buying it at 4.5. It gapped up to 8 probably on some news there. It was sold pretty hard. I might have actually even looked at this the other day about saying maybe shorting it into the top to this pivot high. Got sold, filled the gap, and now they get more good news again. So it's not even gapping up that much, really.
The IRS will be calling soon.
So I would pay attention. If it said alert at 750, 765. Notice if it's actually being bought up here, holding above 750. Maybe it brings in the high from a couple of weeks ago into play. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. So Roku, which we've been watching very closely over the last couple of weeks since earnings, broke out a couple of days ago after this pullback in basing. Then yesterday took out the all-time high. Citron, who used to report on fraud, now talks about momentum stocks. Got it to go down. They're supposedly going to be on CNBC today. I would think buyers would step in. People sold it yesterday in anticipation of Citron appearing on CNBC. So he used to uncover fraud or claim to uncover fraud. Now he just says the stock's a little bit too high. He shorts it, makes some money. It's a great gig if he can get it. So if we go back to 2 days ago when it broke out, there was a lot of accumulation in this area here. What did I put on the sheet? 43.5 to 44. So this is the spot where you want to see if it catches a bid here. And if it starts to go, you really want to stay with it, let it go up at least a couple of dollars, back up to 45, 60 to 46, and then kind of see. There could be a lot of people shorting ahead of their appearance today. And if it were to bounce all the way to 46 and then not pull back that much and take that out, it could really rip again. We saw what SQ did yesterday when it quite a bit. It went up over $4. So that is on that side. You know, if it takes out that 43.5, it's probably a straight shot back down to, there's not really much support, all the way down to like 41.5, 42. The next one is SQ. So SQ, so we bought that. I bought that in the pre-market. It ripped up on the open. I didn't really think it would get much above 43, so I was shorting it in this 43.20, 43.30 area. It did have one final move to 44 here. I was shorted, but I had to leave the office, so I was not here for this $2 down move, and I had, I guess, a script in to cover it as it came off. I don't even think that much, maybe 60, 70 cents. But anyone who shorted this kind of consolidation break to the downside, good job. It just overshot. I mean, this was a really, this was a serious down move to $40, just gapping below 40 on the open. For it to even get above this 43.20, I thought was huge. But then the prior day where it consolidated and then broke to the downside and this big leg failed. People stepped in and bought at 42. Now today we'll see if this 40, kind of 320, 43.30, where I shorted here, will work as a spot where it fails. But overall, I'm just thinking big move down, big bounce. Now let's see if we can get some consolidation before the next big move. RGC. RGC, right. Oh, they got a takeover offer yesterday. So they called it, they opened it up. It got sold back down from 21 down to 19. I think some buyers are probably going to step in today. It would be nice if they flushed it down to 20 on the open, or maybe even a little bit lower. I'd be a buyer here. See if it can catch up to the kind of the uptrend from a few days ago. Work its way into here. And then Riot. So Riot actually caught a pretty good bid, had a nice bounce. So this one went vertical. And it came back down. It caught a nice bid yesterday into this from a few days ago. I'm sure people were watching right here. This is when it went kind of crazy from 13.5 to 18. And it caught a bid there, and it did bounce actually, looks like the 16 and change before pulling back into 15, and now it's gapping higher this morning. So this, let's zoom in. This 18 is big. So I'm kind of curious to see what it does here, 18 to 19. Either way, it could fail right in this here. It gets back down below 18, rolls over again, right back down to 14, 15. Or it comes up to this 18 area here, consolidates and breaks to the upside, and maybe goes back up to 22. Just be mentally prepared either way. If it gets up to 18 and is, you see a bunch of sellers there and you want to short with that, that's fine. That's all I got. Second day technical stuff, Bitcoin, blockchain, looks like the good stuff for today. We do want to keep on ADSK because of the that longer term uptrend breaking and the potential there to work its way back down to the after hours low.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.